They say all we got to do in order to receive salvation is to believe in our heart and confess with our mouth. But the money I got, ooh, is righteous, and we must be righteous too. We must keep the statute of the commandments, the thing that we agreed we would do. Hey, without work today. But do you know, oh, amen. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Faith without works is dead. But do you know, oh, amen. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. By faith Enoch, when he was translated, that he should not see death, he walked with Yahweh the Most High. It's written in Genesis chapter 5. He didn't turn to the right, he didn't turn to the left. Straight is the gate that leadeth unto everlasting life. Broad is the way that leadeth unto destruction. By faith, when Abraham was called to go into a place, to get out of his country, from his father's house, from his kindreds, he obeyed, not even knowing where he was going. But he looked for a city whose foundation and builder was the mighty Yahweh. Now faith is the substance of coming at you with another live out of the shot. I'm Brother Yakda Israel from the fourth son of Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel. I will be endeavoring to bring forth biblical and historical information from the Bible, from historical books and records. The name of the broadcast is Let Your Light Shine. The title of today's teaching will be Now the Birth of the Hamashahich, the one you call Sweet Baby Jesus, was on this wise. Part number 10. We expect to get one more part, but this thing could run. I mean, this particular subject matter could go and go and go. But we're going to get on that Feast of Purim. We're going to put in one more tomorrow on Shabbat. In Shabbat class, we're going to do part number 11. Then we're going to start our series. We're going to start looking at the Feast of Purim that's coming up in the month Adar, which is the 12th month according to the Shemitic Hebrew calendar. But it is on the Gregorian calendar, it is the month that you know as the month of March. In the Shemitic calendar, it is the 12th month called Adar. We will be starting our look into the Feast of Purim. Once more again, my brothers, I'm Brother Yakda Israel from the fourth son of Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel. And as you can see, we had another late start because of technical difficulties. I don't know. I mean, I need to pack this computer up and send it back. I mean, it's a brand new computer. I don't see why we can't just be on point. But we have all these issues the last couple of broadcasts. Tuesday and tonight, we was about 15-20 minutes with a late start, my brothers. And you know how I feel. I like to be on time and on point, my brothers, my sisters, my people. To the 12 tribes of Israel that scattered to the four corners of the globe, Yahweh be with you, and Yahweh bless you. Shalom, shalom, Shabbat, shalom. For questions or comments, we can be contacted by phone. That phone number is area code 331-312-4022. Once more again, for questions or comments, we can be contacted by phone. The number is 331-312-4022. We can also be contacted by way of email. If you want to drop us a line, you can do that by way of our email. That email address is YHDHYSRAEL@gmail.com. For questions or comments, or if you just want to drop us a line and let us know how you enjoy the broadcast, my brothers, my sisters, my people, you can do that by way of our email. That email address is YHDHYSRAEL@gmail.com. I know we a couple of broadcasts we've been recording simultaneously on Facebook as well as our YouTube channel. That the name of that channel you can get on by way of YouTube is YHDHYSRAEL at gmail.com. My brothers, once more again, we'll have a YouTube page, and we are recording simultaneously on YouTube as well as on Facebook, my brothers. And the name of the YouTube page is YHDHYSRAEL at gmail.com, my brothers, my sisters. And the time slot for our broadcast, we come on Tuesday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. We this past Tuesday, we had all kind of issues before we could even get going. And as well tonight, we come back Friday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Sometimes we're a little early, and sometimes we stay a little late. But as you can see tonight as well as Tuesday, we was a little late and we left a little early. But we'll see how tonight goes. Once more again, my brothers, the name of the broadcast is Let Your Light Shine. The title of the teaching for today will be Now the Birth of the Hamashahich, the one you call sweet baby Jesus, was on this wise. Part number 10, and we expect to get one more part in before we transition to the teaching concerning the Feast of Purim, my brothers. Very important end of the year feast. My brothers, my sisters, my people, O most Heavenly Father Yahweh, we come once more and again to give thee thanks. Thanking thee, Father, for another day, for another opportunity to do those things that are pleasing in your sight. Pray, Father, for your wisdom, your knowledge, your understanding. Give us your strength, O Heavenly Father, that we might be able to feed your sheep. Pray, Father, that you would just bless the broadcast, that it's so where you desire it to sow, and that it water, O Heavenly Father, where you desire it to water. We pray for the 12 tribes of Israel that's scattered to the four corners of the globe. Pray, Father, for all those that are calling on your righteous and precious name, those that are striving to enter in at the straight gate, those that are striving to keep your statutes, your laws, and your commandments. We pray that you would give us strength in these last days. Give us your wisdom, O Heavenly Father. Give us your knowledge and your understanding, that we might be able to do those things that are required by thee. For you said in your word, according to the Hamashahich, he said, I'm only sent unto the lost sheep of the family of Israel. And then you came back, O Heavenly Father, and you cornered the Apostle Peter. You said 3 times, feed my sheep. O Heavenly Father, we pray that you would give us the wisdom, the knowledge, the understanding, the strength to do just that in these last and evil days, Father, to call the 12 tribes of Israel back to the covenant of our forefathers. We pray, Father, that you would just look upon us. Give us of your understanding. Give us of your strength, O Heavenly Father. Pray also for those of the 12 tribes of Israel. They have eyes, O Heavenly Father, but they cannot see. They have ears, but they cannot hear. Pray that you would open up their eyes, that they might see your truth, Unstop their ears, O Heavenly Father, that they may hear your word and say, this is the way, and walk therein. These things we pray in your precious Son's name and for his sake. Hallelujah. 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 And once more again, my brothers, my sisters, I'm Brother Yagda Israel, from the fourth son of Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel. And like always, the first thing we do, we bring forth that mighty name, the name of the supreme deity, the one that was delivered to Moses, passed on to the children of Israel. And guess what? It made it down to 2026 according to the Gregorian calendar. My brothers, my sisters, but we will not be using the traditional names of Lord God Jesus, Allah, Buddha, Baal, Ashtaroth, Moloch, Shammuz, but we'll be using the four letters YHWH, which they call the Tetragrammaton, which we pronounce Yahweh. That's how we pronounce it, which we will be using exclusively, my brothers. We like to put that up front and center. You know, the Most High want his name in lights. He want his name, he want to be the main, what they say, the main showstopper on the neon sign, my brother. He want his name on top. That's what he say. Seek you first the kingdom of Yahweh and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. But that's what we do. That's how we begin every broadcast. If we don't forget, every now and then we forget it. But for the most part, we bet about 99% here. We're putting the Most High's name front and center. The significance of Yahweh's name. And it reads, the name of Yahweh holds profound significance throughout the Bible, serving as a revelation of his character, authority, and relationship with his people. In the scriptures, names are not merely labels, but encapsulate the essence and identity of individuals. This is especially true for the name of Yahweh, which is treated with utmost reverence and awe. We want people at a statement. Let me see if I can pull this out, my brother. It's a statement that I want to bring forth right about now. Let me see if this system will let me make a move. I want to peep at one statement. I believe, right here. I want to look at this right quick, my brothers, my sisters. Now, this is from a scientist's point of view, and it reads, scientists claim Jesus wasn't called Jesus. So what was his name? If you can't tell. For most of our lives, we've known the Son of Yahweh by one name, Jesus. It's what we taught. It's what we are taught from the beginning. And honestly, when you're told someone's name is something, you rarely stop to question it. Let's start with some context. But according to historians and scholars, Jesus wasn't actually called Jesus at all. Let's start with some context. Historians believe Yahweh, the Hamashahich, the one you call sweet baby Jesus,
was born around 2,030 years ago. Professor Lawrence Makatook of Purdue University told Mail Online that the nearest date one can confidently arrive at for Yahweh the Hamashiach's birth seemed to be the month of March during the year of 654 BC, my brothers, my sisters. And that's what we on tonight. We want to know about his birth. Now, the birth of the Hamashiach, the anointed one, the one you call sweet baby Jesus, was on this wise. Part number 10. Let's read a little bit more of this historical document here. But here, the twist. The name Jesus didn't even exist at the time he was alive. In fact, some of the letters we use in his name today wouldn't have been used in written language until over 1,000 years after his death, including the letter J. As the story of Yahweh the Hamashiach was passed on through centuries, his name evolved as it traveled through different languages. First Aramaic, his native tongue, then Shemitic, Hebrew, followed by Greek, Latin, and eventually English. By the 16th century, what we now call Jesus is essentially the end result of a long game of linguistic telephone. So what was his original name? 4 letters, YHWH, which we pronounce Yahweh, which we will be using exclusively, my brothers, my sisters, my people. Now, since they brought up the letter J, let me see if I can. That gone. Now, what's going on around here? Let me close that. Since they brought it up, we might as well look at it, right? I want to peep at that letter J. And it reads, when was the letter J invented? And was it before Yahweh, the Hamashiach, the anointed one? Some of you may be aware that the letter J is one of the more recent additions to our alphabet. But when was it invented, and what was language like before it came into existence? When was the letter J invented? The letter J was invented for the Italian language by a man called Gian Giorgio Tressino in the year 1524. It was used in Roman numerals, but back then it was an alternative way of writing I, not its own letter. Before the letter J, the one you call sweet baby Jesus' name was pronounced Jesus. You hear that? Before they twisted this thing and came up with some letter J and invented this guy called sweet baby Jesus, the one they was worshiping was Jesus. That's who was on the table. The history of the letter J. Let's go over the history of the letter J and see how it went from being an alternate version of I to its own letter. In the year 1524, Italian Gian Giorgio Tressino was the first to use J as a letter. The sound that this new letter would make has another common way of being written as DG and made the DG sound due to the influence that Latin and French had on Italian. The letter J was just another way of writing the DG sound. However, back then, the usage of J was far from common, even in Italy, and it wouldn't be until much later that it would become as recognizable as it is today. It's unlikely he would have lived long enough to see his new letter, the letter J, become popular. Much later in the 16th century, a Frenchman called Pierre Rameau was the next person to separate the I from the J. Back then, words that today we would spell with a J would have been spelled with an I, but this was only amongst a few French scholars. It wasn't until the 17th century that the letter J became common in English. If you read some of the older versions of the King James Bible, you will see the letter I, whereas today's version has the letter J. So your letter J really didn't get jumping until the 17th century. Before then, who was they worshiping? Jesus. My brothers, my sisters, my people. Now we're going to go grab us a couple of scriptures to back up our premise while we use the letter J. While we use the four letters YHWH exclusively. That's who we got in the vault. You know how we do this thing. Exodus 3, verse 13, and it reads, And Moses said unto Yahweh, Behold, when I come unto the children of Israel, and shall say unto them, Yahweh of your fathers has sent me unto you. And they shall say to me, What is his name? What shall I say unto them? We're going to drop down to verse number 15 and read the book of Exodus 3, verse 15. And Yahweh said, Moreover unto Moses, Thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, Yahweh of your fathers, Yahweh of Abraham, Yahweh of Isaac, and Yahweh, the power of Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel, have sent me unto you. Lost my place there. This is my name forever, and this is my memorial unto all generations. My brothers, my sisters, let's go into the vault. Let's see what we can come up with. In the book of Acts, chapter 4, verse number 1. Now, this is a statement. We want to read this 1 through 12, Acts chapter 4, and it reads, And as they spake unto the people, now this is the apostle Peter and the apostle John. They was having what you call church. Acts chapter 4, verse 1. And as they spake unto the people, the priests and the captain of the temple and the Sadducees came upon them. Now the high rollers, the ones in the pulpit, they showed up when the apostle Peter and the apostle John was getting it in, my brothers. Verse number 2, and it reads, And my sisters, Acts chapter 4, verse 2, being grieved that they taught the people. So sometimes, the ones in the pulpit, they like to keep the people in darkness. And when you shine a little light, they get grieved. My brothers, my sisters, my people. and taught through Yahweh, the Hamashahich, the resurrection from the dead. Verse number 3. And they laid hands on them and put them in hold until the next day, for it was now evening tide. Verse number 4, very important. It was now evening tide. Let me see if we can move on down the road here. This thing gonna stall for me right here. Look like it's giving me some issues. But let's see where we can get to. Guess I should have just went and grabbed my hit and kept it moving, right? See if this thing will clear up for me right quick. Let me see if we can move on down to verse number 4. My brothers, this thing done froze up on the brother. Yeah, it done froze up on me, but you know how that go. I'm going to go ahead and fill in the blanks right quick. Now, I can't do nothing but run my big mouth. Once more again, I'm Brother Yagda Israel, from the fourth son of Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel. Let me see, it won't let me do nothing. We are endeavoring to bring forth this last 2 parts on this series called Now the Birth of Yahweh, the Hamashahich, was on this wise, my brothers. So this computer done froze up on a brother, so I guess I'm going to have to just go into my hard copy and finish this Acts chapter 4. Look like that's what I'm going to have to do. And we were going to pick it up at verse number 4. I'd like to put it on the screen so you can see what I see, my brothers. But hey, we've been having issues, but we're going to work around it and see how much of this we can get in tonight, my brothers. Once more again, we'll be on tomorrow. Our Shabbat class began at approximately 2 p.m. And we usually roll until, you say until when? Until we get it all in, my brothers. Until we get it all in, we usually roll until we get it all in. Let me peep at Acts chapter 4, verse number 4. Acts chapter 4. I'm all froze up. Everything done froze up. I done froze up. The daggone computer done froze up. Oh, what shall I do? How shall I do? Let me see if I can. This thing ain't gonna do nothing for me, right? But hey, what can I say? Oh boy, I can't make no kind of move around here. Let me go ahead and read this. Hopefully the recording is still moving. I don't know this thing. I mean, I don't know if the weather have an effect or what is going on, but I pray Yahweh that we are still being recorded here. I want to look at the book of Acts chapter 4. We're going to pick it up at verse number 4, and it reads, Howbeit many of them, well, it look like something get ready to go down around here. Let me see if we can move on down the road. At least I'm not frozen. Let me see if this thing will let me move on down the road here. Guess not. What can I say? We froze up again. Hey, that's the price you pay dealing with this man's technology. Let me go back to my hard copy now. Let me see if I can get this in. We got to move on down the road because time is winding down for sure, my brothers. My sisters, we're going to go back to that Acts chapter 4. And we'll look at verse number 4. And it reads, Howbeit many of them which heard the word believed. and the number of the men was about 5,000. Let's peep at it. Verse number 5. And it came to pass on tomorrow that their rulers and elders and scribes. Verse number 6. And Ananias the high priest, Caiaphas, John, and Alexander, and as many as were of the kindred of the high priest, were gathered together at the city of David, polluted word Jerusalem. Verse number 7. And when they had set them in the midst, they asked, by what name? Hold on, let me get that right. And when they had set them in the midst, they asked, by what power or by what name have you done this? Verse number 8. Then Peter, filled with the righteous spirit, said unto them, you rulers of the people and elders of Israel. Verse number 9. Oh, well, let's see if we can get it in. I see my freeze that came up. Let me get to verse number 9 so you can follow along with me. The book of Acts chapter 4, verse number 9. And it reads, If we this day be examined of the good deed done to the impotent man, by what means he is made whole. Verse 10. Be it known unto you and all, be it known unto you all, and to all the people of Israel, that by the name of Yahweh, the Hamashahich of Nazareth, whom you crucified, whom Yahweh the Father raised from the dead, even by him that this man stand here before you whole. Verse number 11. This is the stone which was set at naught of you builders, which has become the head of the corner. Verse number 12. And it reads, neither there is salvation in any other, for there is none other name under heaven given among men whereby we must be saved. Now, my brothers, my sisters, this is coming from the Apostle Peter. And according to Peter, right, he said that there is no other name on the earth, that's what's under heaven, that you can get up under for salvation. Only name on the table is the 4 letters that was delivered to Moshe. You know, when we read in Exodus 3, verse 13, when Moses spoke to the Most High, he said, look here, when I go down here to these children of Israel, they're going to sure enough ask me, what's your name? And he delivered unto Moshe the name that would be on the table from generation to generation. He said, this is my name forever and my memorial unto all generations. And Peter came back and said that that was the only name you can get up under for salvation, my brothers. Now we're going to skip a little bit since we had all kind of major delays tonight. I want to run to the book of Exodus. Let's get all the way down to Exodus chapter 9, verse 16. And it reads, and in very deed for this cause have I raised thee up, for to show in thee my power, and that my name may be declared throughout all the earth. So the Most High, Yahweh, he want his name front and center, my brothers. He want his name declared throughout all the earth, from sea to sea, city to city, state to state, country to country. He want his name declared throughout all the earth, my brothers, my sisters, my people. Let's grab one more. We're going to go to 1 Timothy. Then we're going to get ready to prepare for our clips. Hopefully, we don't have no more issues and we can get it in tonight. Title of today's teaching is Now the Birth of the Hamashahich, the one you call sweet baby Jesus, was on this wise. Part number 10. And we want to look at this thing from, we want to peep at a few things. We want to investigate, my brothers, a few things tonight. And let you see, what you think, you just might not know, right? Because I was in the dilemma myself. I was going along with what was presented, but as I inspected the scriptures, I began to see things a little bit different. So we got to study to show ourselves approved unto Yahweh, a workman, a workwoman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth, my brothers. Let as many servants, 1 Timothy 6, verse 1, let as many servants as are under the yoke count their own master worthy of all honor, that the name of Yahweh and his teaching be not blasphemed. So we got to have his name and his teaching, my brothers, my sisters, my people. We're going to get ready to play this clip, and we're going to be back at you on the other side, my brothers, my sisters, my people.
As I open my eyes to another day, I see the sunrise, and I begin to say, ooh, Yahweh creation, ooh, it's so amazing. And I wanna thank you for giving me another day. Ooh, I wanna thank you. I wanna praise your name for giving me another chance. I wanna praise you. I wanna give you thanks for giving me your mercy and your grace. As I open my eyes to another day, I see the sunrise, and I begin to say, ooh, Yahweh creation, ooh, it's so amazing, so marvelous. And I wanna thank you for giving another day. I wanna thank you, I wanna praise your name for giving me another chance. I wanna praise you, I wanna give you thanks for giving me your mercy and your grace.
I'm Judah. They call us African Americans today. And Deuteronomy 28 fits us. We waking up now.
I'm Benjamin. They call us West Indians now. And Deuteronomy 28 fits us. We waking up
I'm
now.
Levi. They call us Haitians now. And Deuteronomy 28 fits us. We waking up now. I'm Ephraim. They call us Puerto Ricans. And Deuteronomy 28 fits us. We waking up now. I'm Manasseh. They call us Cubans now. And Deuteronomy 28 fits us. We waking up now. I'm Simeon. They call us Dominicans now. And Deuteronomy 28 fits us. We waking up now. I'm Zebulon. They call us Hondurans and Guatemalans. And Deuteronomy 28 fits us. We waking up now. I'm Gad. They call us Native Americans. And Deuteronomy 28 fits us. We waking up now. I'm Reuben. They call us Seminoles. And Deuteronomy 28 fits us. We waking up now. I'm Asher. They call us Colombians. And Deuteronomy 28 fits us. We waking up now. I'm Issachar. They call us Mexicans. And Deuteronomy 28 fits us. We waking up now. I'm Naphtali. They call us Chileans and Argentinians. And Deuteronomy 28 fits us. We waking up now.
Join us on Patreon and become part of our journey to uncover history's untold stories. Your support helps us create in-depth content, bring hidden narratives to life, and keep history alive for everyone.
The modern world wakes each morning to a quiet miracle. Screens glow to life at the touch of a button. Documents appear instantly. Ideas travel across continents in seconds. For most people, the personal computer feels so ordinary that its origins fade into the background of everyday life. Yet behind this revolution stands a small group of engineers whose decisions reshaped how humanity works, learns, and communicates. Among them is Mark Dean, a man whose brilliance helped turn the computer from an elite laboratory machine into a personal companion, yet whose name is rarely spoken with the same reverence as the companies and product his work made possible. His story is not only about technology, but about persistence, vision, and the quiet power of engineering to change history.
Factor is proof that healthy food can taste.
Marvin Dean was born on March 2, 1957, in Jefferson City, Tennessee, during a period when the United States was racing through scientific transformation while still deeply entangled in racial inequality. His father worked as an engineer, and from an early age, Dean was surrounded by the language of problem-solving and invention. He has often spoken about how his father encouraged curiosity, allowing him to tinker with mechanical devices and imagine how things work beneath the surface. This early exposure planted the seeds of a mindset that would later thrive in the world of computer engineering. Growing up in the American South during the 1960s and 1970s, Dean was acutely aware of the social barriers around him, but he was equally aware that mastery of knowledge could be its own form of quiet resistance. Dean pursued his undergraduate education at the University of Tennessee, where he earned a degree in electrical engineering. At a time when computer science and electrical engineering were rapidly converging, he developed a strong foundation in both hardware design and systems thinking. His academic excellence led him to Stanford University, one of the epicenters of technological innovation, where he completed a master's degree and later a doctorate in electrical engineering. Stanford in the late 1970s and early 1980s was a crucible of ideas that would eventually give rise to Silicon Valley's dominance, and Dean absorbed both the technical rigor and the culture of innovation that defined the era. In 1980, Mark Dean joined IBM, a company that, at the time, stood as one of the most powerful and influential forces in global computing. IBM dominated the market for large mainframe computers used by governments, corporations, and universities. Yet the company faced a growing challenge. Smaller, more affordable computers were beginning to appear, and competitors were experimenting with machines designed for individual users rather than a fundamental shift in design philosophy. Dean became part of a small, fast-moving team tasked with creating what would become the IBM personal computer. This project, later known as the IBM PC, was unlike most IBM initiatives. Rather than relying on proprietary components designed entirely in-house, the team was encouraged to use existing technologies and focus on speed and flexibility. This environment allowed Dean's talents to flourish. His most significant contribution came through his work on the system architecture that allowed peripheral devices to communicate with the computer's central processing unit. One of Dean's most influential achievements was the co-invention of the industry-standard architecture bus, commonly known as the ISA bus. This innovation may sound technical and abstract, but its impact was profound. The ISA bus provided a standardized way for components such as printers, disk drives, graphics cards, and modems to connect to the computer. Before this development, computers were often closed systems, tightly controlled by manufacturers. By enabling third-party developers to create compatible hardware, the ISA bus helped create an open ecosystem that encouraged innovation, competition, and rapid expansion of capabilities. This architectural decision fundamentally changed the trajectory of personal computing. It allowed users to customize their machines, upgrade components, and adapt their computers to specific needs. The personal computer became not just a static product, but a flexible platform. This openness accelerated the growth of the software industry and laid the groundwork for the explosion of applications that followed. In many ways, the ISA bus helped democratize computing, turning the PC into a tool for creativity and productivity rather than a rigid corporate appliance. Dean also played a crucial role in the development of color graphics for personal computers. At a time when many machines displayed only monochrome text, he worked on the design of color PC monitors and associated hardware that allowed computers to present richer visual information. This advancement expanded the potential uses of the PC, making it more suitable for education, design, entertainment, and user-friendly interfaces. The shift toward color displays helped computers feel more approachable and human-centered, contributing to their rapid adoption in homes and schools. The success of the IBM PC, released in 1981, exceeded expectations. Its open architecture and reliability made it an instant standard in the industry. Other companies quickly began producing IBM-compatible machines, and the personal computer market exploded. Although IBM itself would eventually lose dominance in the PC market, the standards established by the original IBM PC shaped computing for decades. Mark Dean's work sat at the very heart of this transformation, influencing countless devices and systems that followed. Over the course of his career at IBM, Dean was awarded numerous patents, ultimately holding more than 40. These patents covered a wide range of innovations in computer architecture, input-output systems, and performance optimization. Each patent represented not just a technical solution, but a response to real-world challenges faced by users and developers. His work consistently reflected an understanding that technology must serve human needs, not merely showcase engineering prowess. As his career progressed, Dean took on leadership roles within IBM, including serving as a vice president and as a senior technical executive. In these positions, he helped guide research and development efforts at IBM's Almaden Research Center, one of the company's most important innovation hubs. He worked on advanced systems beyond the personal computer, including high-performance computing and emerging technologies that would influence the next generation of machines. Despite his immense contributions, Mark Dean's name remained largely absent from popular narratives about the personal computer revolution. Figures like Steve Jobs and Bill Gates became household names, often portrayed as lone visionaries. Dean's story reveals a different reality, one in which complex systems are built by teams of engineers whose names rarely appear on product boxes or magazine covers. His experience also reflects broader patterns in the history of technology, where the contributions of Black engineers and scientists have frequently been overlooked or minimized. Dean himself has spoken candidly about the challenges of navigating the tech industry as a Black engineer. While IBM was often more progressive than many companies of its time, the broader industry still reflected societal biases. Dean has emphasized the importance of representation, noting that seeing people who look like you in positions of technical authority can profoundly shape one's sense of possibility. His success stands as both a personal achievement and a symbol of what becomes possible when talent is allowed to flourish despite systemic obstacles. 1997, Dean and his colleague Dennis Moeller were inducted into the National Inventors Hall of Fame for their work on the IBM PC. This recognition marked a rare moment when his contributions received public acknowledgement on a national stage. Yet even this honor only hints at the full extent of his influence. Every time a user plugs a device into a computer, upgrades hardware, or benefits from the modular design of modern systems, they are interacting with principles that Dean helped bring into existence. Later in his career, Dean transitioned into academia, becoming a professor at the University of Tennessee, Knoxville. In this role, he dedicated himself to teaching and mentoring the next generation of engineers. He brought with him decades of industry experience, offering students insights not only into technical design but into the ethical and social responsibilities of engineers. His presence in the classroom served as a powerful reminder that innovation is shaped by people, values, and choices, not just equations and code. Dean has also been a vocal commentator on the future of computing. He has expressed skepticism about the idea that innovation has slowed, instead arguing that technology is evolving in new directions that are less visible but equally transformative. He has pointed to artificial intelligence, quantum computing, and specialized hardware as areas where the next major breakthroughs are likely to occur. His perspective carries weight precisely because it is grounded in a deep understanding of how past revolutions unfolded. The story of Mark Dean complicates the simplified myths often told about technological progress. It reminds us that the personal computer was not the inevitable product of a single genius, but the result of careful engineering decisions made under pressure within institutions by people who rarely sought the spotlight. Dean's work demonstrates how standards and infrastructure can be as revolutionary as flashy consumer products. By enabling openness, flexibility, and compatibility, he helped create an environment in which countless other innovations could thrive. His legacy also challenges us to reconsider whose stories we tell when we talk about the history of technology. Recognizing figures like Mark Dean does not diminish the achievements of others. Rather, it enriches our understanding of how progress actually happens. It highlights the collaborative nature of innovation and underscores the importance of diversity in shaping technological futures that serve everyone. Today, as personal computers continue to evolve into laptops, tablets, and hybrid devices, the foundational ideas behind them remain strikingly consistent. Modular design, standardized interfaces, and user-focused functionality continue to define successful technologies. These principles trace a direct line back to the work Mark Dean did at IBM in the early 1980s. His influence persists not as a logo or a brand, but as an invisible architecture supporting modern life. In reflecting on Mark Dean's career, one sees not just the arc of an individual life, but a window into the broader forces that shape technological history. His journey from a curious child in Tennessee to a central figure in one of the most important technological revolutions of the 20th century speaks to the power of education, perseverance, and thoughtful design. It also serves as a reminder that history often hides its most important architects in plain sight. As the world continues to debate the impact of technology on society, the story of Mark Dean offers a grounded perspective. It shows that true innovation is rarely about spectacle. It is about solving problems, building systems that last, and empowering others to create. In that sense, every personal computer is a quiet tribute to his work, a testament to an engineer who helped make the digital age possible without ever demanding center stage.
As I open my eyes to another day, I see the sunrise, and I begin to say, ooh, Yahweh creation, ooh, it's so amazing, so marvelous. All right, we back at you. We trying to make it through this thing tonight, my brothers, my sisters. We having all kind of issues. I'm just wondering, is it the weather that's affecting the system tonight? But nevertheless, we're gonna continue. Once more again, I'm Brother Yakda Israel from the fourth son of Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel. The title of today's teaching is, Now the birth of Yahweh, the Hamashahich, was on this wise. Part number 10, we're going to do one more part in the Shabbat class tomorrow. Now, Shabbat class begins at about approximately 2 p.m. And we usually roll until we get it all in, my brothers, my sisters. But for questions or comments, we can be contacted by phone. That number is area code 331-312-4022. Once more again, for questions or comments, we can be contacted by phone. That number is area code 331-312-4022. We can also be contacted by way of email. If you want to drop us a line, you can do that by way of our email. That email address is YHDHYSRAEL@gmail.com. Once more again, that email address is, if you want to drop us a line, you can do it by way of our email. That email address is YHDHYSRAEL@gmail.com. And once more again, my brothers, we are recording simultaneously on our Facebook page as well. We've just started recording on our YouTube page. And for the name that you can get to that YouTube page under is YHDHYSRAEL@gmail.com. My brothers, my sisters. Once more again, the title of today's teaching is Now the Birth of Yahweh, the Hamashahich, the Anointed One, the one you call sweet baby Jesus, was on this wise. Part number 10. We're going to open up in the book of Luke, chapter 12, verse number 12, and it reads, Book of Luke, chapter 12, verse 12. For the righteous spirit shall teach you in the same hour what you ought to say. We believe that, my brothers. We believe that in that very same hour, if it be in the midnight hour or the midday hour, the righteous minister spirit has been assigned to teach a certain group of people. Let's not forget that. Let's peep at who is the righteous minister spirits. Who are they assigned to? We're going to go to the book of Hebrews, book of the Israelites, chapter 1. Let's see if we can get a line on who are they assigned to. In the book of Hebrews, chapter 1, verse 7, and it reads, And of the angels, he saith, who maketh his angels spirit. So now we get a clear understanding about who these spirits, these righteous spirits are. They are a contingency of angels that Yahweh has assigned to bring information to a certain group of people. In the book of Hebrews, chapter 1, verse 7. So the word angel and spirit, they are interchangeable in this case, my brothers. So you got to be able to rightly divide the word of truth and not just go on hearsay. It's what I heard. You know what I mean? Book of Hebrews 1, verse 7. And of the angel he said, who maketh his angel spirits and his ministers a flame of fire. We're going to drop down to verse 14. We're going to get an answer. Who are they assigned to? These righteous minister spirits. In the book of Hebrews, chapter 1, verse number 14 reads, Are they not all minister spirits sent forth to minister for them who shall be heirs of salvation? Now, what makes you an heir of salvation, my brothers? Let's peep at that question momentarily. Just for a minute. We want to peep at the book of Romans. Going to look at the book of Romans. We want to find out what is the criteria to be an heir of salvation. Because, you know, if I go over there to England, Great Britain, and they ain't going to even let me close to the palace, though. But I'm going to say, I'm going to holler from across the field, I'm an heir to this throne over here. They going to look at me and say, nah, you're not part of this bloodline. So what make you an heir of salvation, my brother? They work for the kings and queens of England, Great Britain, but Yahweh said that there's a certain criteria to being an heir of salvation. That means you're in line to be delivered. We're gonna go about this for let's run to I'm gonna stall for a minute. I'm gonna run through a couple of statements, and then we're gonna reverse this thing. We're gonna get back to that Romans chapter 8. But I want to look at the book of 1 Thessalonians chapter 5. And I want to peep at about verse number 9. Let me see if I can hit the nail on the head. Romans chapter 5. First Thessalonians chapter 5, verse number 9. Let me see where I want to start this. Now, where I really want to hit is verse number 9, but I want to read a little bit into this. Let me pick it up at verse number 8. I'm not going to stall too much. We got a whole lot that we need to get in tonight. We're ready to close out this teaching. Now, the birth of Yahweh, the Hamashahich, the anointed one you call sweet baby Jesus, was on this wise. Part number 10. 1 Thessalonians 5, verse 8. But let us, who are of the day, be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith and love, and for our helmet, the hope of salvation. Very powerful statement. So Paul is writing a letter to Thessalonica for sure. But who over there in Thessalonica that he is penning this letter to? That is the question, right? Because he said, but let us, who are of the day, be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith and love. That means you got to believe in the Hamashahich and keep the commandments of Yahweh. And for a helmet, the hope. So I don't know why you running around here talking about you saved. That is a false statement. All we got is hope of this salvation, my brothers. We hoping and we can make it into the kingdom of heaven, my brothers. That's what we are doing as we speak. No one can say that they are saved. You ain't saved until you are delivered from your enemies, my brothers. 1 Thessalonians 5, verse 9. For Yahweh have not appointed us to wrath, but to obtain salvation by our Yahweh, the Hamashahich, the one you call sweet baby Jesus. So there's a group of people, according to the Apostle Paul, in 1 Thessalonians 5, verse 9, that was not even appointed to receive this wrath. Let's just stay on this tune. Let's see if we can make it make sense around here. We're going to go to Revelation chapter 18. I want to peep at verse number 1. Going to pick it up at verse 1. Revelation 18, verse 1. Now, Paul said that there was a group of people that was not assigned to the beat down that's on the way. Revelation 18, verse 1. Let's peep at this. Let's see who Yahweh is calling out. Revelation chapter 18, verse 1. And it reads, and after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. Verse 2. And it reads, Revelation 18, verse 2. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon, the great, is fallen, and to become the habitation of devils, and the hole of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. So the place he referring to is a place where there is what they call a melting pot. You got peoples from all of the other nations that have made Babylon their home, right? And Yahweh say it's the whole of every foul spirit. Now that means unclean spirit dominate the atmosphere in the Babylon the Great, my brothers, my sisters, my people. And he says become the habitation of devils. So where would Babylon the Great be located? Well, you just put your feet down. You're in Babylon the Great, my brothers, my sisters. If you within the borders of what they call United States of America, that is Babylon the Great, the daughter of Babylon, my brothers, my sisters. Verse number 3, and it reads, Revelation 18, verse 3. For all nations, we told you this was a melting pot, have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. And the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. We want to look at this wine that that they got all nations drinking. I think I want to run to the book of Micah. Let's see if I can pull it out. I hope I don't get no stall. We want to run to the book of Micah. We want to find out about this wine that Babylon the Great has called all nations to get full of, my brothers. Let me see if I can pull it out in the book of Micah and what they call they refer to as the minor prophets. But ain't no prophet minor, my brothers. See if we can pull this out in Micah. I believe it's Micah chapter 2. Let me run it down so I can be on point. I want to find out a statement about this wine, my brothers, my sisters. And I believe it's in Micah chapter 2. Let me see if I can run it down. I want to peep at this wine that Babylon the Great has called all nations to sip a little bit of, my brothers, my sisters, in the book of Micah 2. And we're going to pick it up at verse number 10. The book of Micah chapter 2. And we want to peep at verse number 10, my brothers. Book of Micah 2. And we're going to look at verse number 10. And it reads, Book of Micah chapter 2, verse 10. It reads, Arise you and depart, for this is not your rest. What are he talking about? He talking about Babylon. Because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction. Verse number 11, and it reads, If a man walking in the spirit and falsehood do lie, saying, I will prophesy unto thee of wine and of strong drink. He shall even be the prophet, the seer of this people. So this wine that they are promoting is lies and falsehood. My brothers, my sisters, it's time to open our eyes, my brothers. It's time to understand what time it is, right? We're living in the last days. Revelation 18, verse 3. So we find out that this wine is lies and falsehood, my brothers. Revelation 18, verse 3. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. Verse number 18. Now we want to find out about these heirs that was not fitted for this wrath to come, my brothers. Revelation 18:4. Who is he calling out? Of Babylon the Great. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that you be partakers of her, that you be not partakers of her sin, and that you receive not of her plagues. Because if you're going to dance with Babylon, you're going to receive the plagues that Babylon is going to receive, my brother. And that's without a doubt, my people. That is the word of Yahweh. He said that he going to pour his wrath on Babylon the Great. Now, we're not going to get all into that because we are running out of time. We're trying to get to this subject matter. But the one that he have not assigned to this wrath, the one he's calling out is his people. Now, who could that be, my brothers, that we could read about? Who is his people that he's calling out? Well, we're going to make it crystal clear. And my brothers, my sisters, we're going to make it crystal clear. Now, we're going to go to the book. Let me see if I want to stall on this. Take a minute to see if I can make it make sense, right? Let me see where we want to run and get his people. We don't want to make it so simple, though. We're going to go to the book of Matthews. Let's just go on and grab it in the book of Matthews. We want people at Matthews. We want to get it from the Hamashachich's mouth, right? We want to look at Matthew chapter 15. And we're going to pick it up at verse number 21. We're going to read a little bit of this. Matthew 15. And we want to peep at verse 21. We want to get it from the Hamashahich, the righteous one's mouth. In Matthew chapter 15, verse number 21 reads, Yahweh, the Hamashahich, went thence and departed in the coast of Tyre as I done. Verse 22, and behold, a woman of Canaan came out of the same coast and cried unto him, saying, have mercy on me, O Yahweh. Who is he? Thou son of David. So even this Canaanite woman knew who he descended from. My brothers, my sisters, but in 2026, according to the Gregorian calendar, we have no clue, even though we read it all over the pages of the book, that he descended through the bloodline of David. Yahweh swore an oath to David, right? Of the fruit of his loins, he will raise up his son to sit on his throne forever. My brothers, thou son of David, my daughter is grievously vexed with a devil. Verse number 23. But he answered her not a word. Well, now, I thought he loved everybody. But Yahweh, he act like he didn't even hear the woman cry. Oh, that son of David, right? Matthew 15:23. But he answered her not a word. And his disciples came and besought him, saying, send her away, for she cried after us. Now, these some bad boys here, right? They say, get her up out of here, Yahweh. She crying after us. Verse number 24. Let's see how he settled the matter. But he answered and said, I am not sent, but unto the lost sheep of the family of Israel. So the only one that he was sent to, the only one he calling up out of Babylon, are the lost sheep of the family of Israel, the 12 tribes. That's who he's concerned about. My brothers, my sisters, my people. Let me see if I can get a little bit of this lesson in. If I don't get it in tonight, I'll be back at it tomorrow, you know. Tune in about 2 p.m. and we be right back in it. Psalm 111, verse 10. The fear of Yahweh is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments. His praise endure forever. So if you want a good understanding, you got to be a covenant keeper. You got to be a commandment keeper before Yahweh pour out his spirit, my brothers. You got to keep his commandments, statute, laws, my brother. That is the criteria. But we know the people are the lost sheep of the family of Israel. So come on back to the agreement, the covenant. This is going out to the 12 tribes of Israel that's scattered to the four corners of the globe. If you want to understand the word of Yahweh, you got to become a commandment doer, not a commandment hearer, my brothers, my sisters. Let's peep at this thing. We're going to go to Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, what we call Sirach, chapter 1, verse 5. Let's get a second witness. Then we're going to move on down to this title track tonight. Now the birth of the Hamashahich, the anointed one, the one you call sweet baby Jesus. And we read that the latter jade did come into existence after the 17th century. So what was they calling their deity back in the day? They was calling on Jesus. My brothers, my sisters, my people. So if you got Jesus in your brain, they got you calling on the pagan deity Zeus, my brothers. Ecclesiasticus chapter 1, verse 5. The word of Yahweh Most High is the fountain of wisdom, and her ways are everlasting commandments. Verse number 6. To whom have the root of wisdom been revealed, who have known her wise counsel. Verse number 7. Unto whom hath the knowledge of wisdom been made manifest, and who have understood her great enterprise. Who do the Most High open the floodgate unto his wisdom? Let's peep at this. Let's see if we can get an answer. Because we read in Psalm 111, verse 10, those that keep his commandment will get a good understanding. But let's get a second witness in the book of Sirach, Ecclesiasticus chapter 1, verse 26, and what they call the Apocrypha. Ecclesiasticus chapter 1, verse 26 reads, if thou desire wisdom, keep the commandments, and Yahweh shall give her unto thee, my brothers, my sisters. We're going to run to the book of Luke chapter 1. We want to deal with a few statements concerning the birth of Yahweh, the Hamashahich, the anointed one. We want to open up this in Luke chapter 1, verse 24. And it reads, and after those days, his wife Elizabeth. Now this is referring to Zechariah and his wife Elizabeth. Conceived and hid herself 5 months, saying. So when Joseph wanted to put Mary away privately, there wasn't no out of the way custom. Elizabeth hid herself 5 months, my brothers, my sisters. So stop playing with the word of Yahweh, twisting and turning this word. Luke chapter 1, verse 25. Thus have Yahweh dealt with me in the days wherein he looked on me to take away my reproach among men. Verse 26. And in the 6th month of what? Of Elizabeth conceiving her pregnancy. my brother. This is what the 6th month is referred to. And in the 6th month, the angel Gabriel was sent from Yahweh unto a city of Galilee named Nazareth. Verse number 27. To a virgin espoused to a man whose name was Joseph of the house of David. And the virgin name was Mary. Now, is this out of the norm that an angel would be sent to Mary? Let's look at this thing, my brothers. I want to run to the book of Jasher. I want people at a statement in Jasher, chapter 18. And we're going to pick it up at verse number 1. And it reads, And Abraham rose and did all that Yahweh had ordered him. And he took the men of his household and those brought with his money, and he circumcised them as Yahweh had commanded him. Verse number 2. And there was not one left whom he did not circumcise. And Abraham and his son Ishmael were circumcised in the flesh of their foreskin. 13 years old was Ishmael when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. Verse 3. And in the 3rd day Abraham went out of his tent and sat at the door to enjoy the heat of the sun during the pain of his flesh. Verse number 4. So Abraham wanted to sit back and relax after he had been zip, 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 zip. Verse number 4, circumcised. Verse number 4. And Yahweh appeared to him in the plain of Memory and sent 3 of his ministering spirits, angels, to visit him. And he was sitting at the door of the tent. And he lifted his eyes and saw, and lo, 3 men were coming from a distance. And he rose up and ran to meet them. And he bowed down to them and brought them into his house. Verse 5. And he said to them, If now I have found favor in your sight, turn in and eat a morsel of bread. And he pressed them, and they turned in. And he gave them water, and they washed their feet. And he placed them under a tree at the door of the tent. So Abraham was a man of hospitality, my brothers, my sister, our great-grandfather, right? Great-grandfather. Jacob, our grandfather. Isaac, our great-grandfather. Abraham is our great-great-grandfather, right? Verse number 6. And Abram ran and took a calf, tender and good, and he hastened to kill it. And he gave it to his servant Eliezer to dress. Verse 7. And Abram came to Sarah into the tent, and he said to her, Make ready quickly 3 measures of fine meal. Knead it and make cakes to cover the pot containing the meat. And she did so. So Sarah didn't give no lip to Abraham. So we got to take upon the characteristics of our father, our great-great-grandfather Abraham, as well as our great-great-grandmama Sarah. She did as she was instructed. Verse number 8. And Abraham hastened and brought before them butter and milk, beef and mutton, and gave it before them to eat, before the flesh of the calf was sufficiently done. And they did eat. Verse number 9. And when they had done eating, one of them said to him, I will return to thee according to the time of life, and Sarah, your wife, shall have a son. So the angels visiting the children of Israel and bringing them a message about birth, the birth of a child. It's not no new thing. Abraham, 3 angels came and told him the message, my brother. So when the angel approached Mary, I mean, it wasn't no big shock. Luke chapter 1, verse 27. To a virgin espoused to a man whose name was Joseph, of the house of David. So who was the bloodline of David coming through? Joseph. According to what we can read. Joseph was of the house of David. And the virgin's name was Mary. Verse 28. And the angel came in unto her and said, Hail, thou that art highly favored, Yahweh is with thee. Blessed art thou among women. Verse number 29. And when she saw him, she was troubled at his saying, and cast in her mind what manner of salutation this should be. Now who is this? Why he coming hollering at me, right? Verse number 30 reads, Luke chapter 1, verse 30. And the angel said unto her, Fear not, Mary, for thou hast found favor with Yahweh. Verse number 31. And behold, thou shalt conceive. That's the same thing that the angel told Abraham. He was going to have a baby boy, right? Behold, thou shalt conceive in thy womb, and bring forth a son, and shall call his name Yahweh, the Hamashahich, the anointed one. My brothers, my sisters. Verse 32. He shall be great, and shall be called the Son of the Highest, and Yahweh shall give unto him the throne. Now this is what the angel is relaying to Mary. The angel said that Joseph was of the house of David, the family of David. And he said also that this boy that will be born will be received the throne of his father David. My brothers, my sisters, let's peep at this thing. Because people read this and swear up and down that Yahweh done did something different on the earth, right? When the book of Ecclesiastes said that there's no new thing, right? The book of Luke chapter 1 verse 33. He shall reign over the house of Jacob forever, and of his kingdom there shall be no end. Well, Solomon's kingdom came to an end, right? Because in 605 BC, the kingdom of, on 722 BC, let's start right there. The kingdom was split after the death of Solomon. You had the northern kingdom and you had the southern kingdom. And then the northern kingdom was taken out around, there was 922 when the kingdom was split. My fault. But in 722, the Assyrians ransacked the northern kingdom and led them up out of their own land, right? 605 BC, the southern kingdom was taken down by Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon. My brothers, my sisters. So this ain't talking about Solomon or Rehoboam. He talking about somebody that would be on the throne forever. Verse number 34 reads, Then said Mary unto the angel, How shall this be, saying I know not a man? That's a very powerful statement there. She asked the angel a question. She said, look here, how's this going to happen? I ain't laid down with no man yet. Verse 35. Let's see how it's going to happen now. Now, this is what I wanted to get to. This is some interesting stuff, my brothers. Luke chapter 1, verse 35, because they swear up and down. This is when the angel operated on Mary, right? And inseminated the seed of David. Is that what it said? Ain't that what they say out here? Luke chapter 135. But let's see if we can dissect this thing. We got to rightly divide the word of truth. This verse 35 is, that's what they hold. They hang their hat on this verse 35, right? And the angel answered and said unto her, the righteous spirit shall come upon thee, and the power of the highest shall overshadow thee. Therefore also that righteous thing which shall be born of thee shall be called the Son of Yahweh. Now they say when it talk about the righteous spirit gonna come on to Mary, that he performed what they call that? Insemination. He performed he implanted a seed into Mary's womb. But let's see if that's that statement can be bagged up or not. Now remember what we read here. The angel answered and said unto her, the Holy Spirit shall come upon thee. So they take that and say that somehow this angel that interceded with in between Joseph and his spouse woman, right? Now Yahweh, he ain't gonna make that move, my brothers and sisters. No, he ain't gonna cause nobody to commit no adultery. And when you mess with a man's woman, even if they just espouse, you committed adultery. Yahweh ain't gonna break his own commandments. Get that out of your brain. So let's deal with this statement. The Holy Spirit shall come upon thee. Let's see if this is a new phenomenon or has it been said and done before. We want to run to the book of Judges. Let's see if I got Judges chapter 13, verse number 1. Let's see when the righteous spirit come upon you. Do all of a sudden everything, you ain't got to make no moves now, but they take care of everything, right? Judges chapter 13, verse number 1, and it reads, and the children of Israel did evil again in the sight of Yahweh. And Yahweh delivered them into the hand of the Philistines. Now the Philistines are part of what they call the Hamites, coming through Canaan, which you know today as the African people, my brothers. And the children of Israel did evil again in the sight of Yahweh. And Yahweh delivered them into the hands of the Philistines 40 years. So not only was they enslaved by the Egyptians, that branch of Africans, but these Canaanites, Philistines, they had them up under their feet for 40 years. My brothers, my sisters, my people. Let's read a little bit more of this. Verse number 2. And there was a certain man of Zorah, of the family of the Danites, whose name was Manoah, and his wife was barren and bare not. Verse number 3. And the angel of Yahweh appeared unto the woman. Hold on now. You mean this is another woman that the angel now popped up on? And said unto her, behold now, you are barren, and bearest not, but thou shalt conceive and bear a son. You mean the angel, Mary wasn't the only one, the The angel made that statement too. You gonna conceive and bear a son? Let's peep at this. Verse number 4. Now therefore beware, I pray thee, and drink not wine or strong drink, and eat not any unclean thing. Verse number 5. For lo, thou shalt conceive and bear a son, and no razor shall come on his head, for the child shall be a Nazarite unto Yahweh from the womb. And he shall begin to deliver Israel out of the hands of the Philistines. Now we want to drop down to verse 25 and see if this sister, this woman, did she conceive? Did the angel impregnate her? Let's see how this thing went down. In verse number, let me see what we want to pull out here. In verse number, let's pick it up at verse number 21. And it reads, But the angel of Yahweh did no more appear to Manoah and to his wife. Then Manoah knew that he was an angel of Yahweh. Now, that's what visited Mary, right? An angel. And Manoah said unto his wife, We shall surely die, because we have seen Yahweh. Verse 23. But his wife said unto him, If Yahweh were pleased to kill us, he would not have received a burnt offering and a meat offering at our hands. Neither would he have showed us all these things. Now, didn't the angel show Mary some things? We're going to deal with this thing, my brothers. Nor would it as yet this time have told us such thing as these. Verse 24. And the woman bare a son, and called his name Samson. And the child grew, and Yahweh blessed him, my brother. So Manoah's wife was visited by an angel. Did the angel inseminate her? Or did she and her husband have something to do with the conception of Samson, my brothers, my sisters? But we want to look at this phrase called the spirit of Yahweh came upon them. Let's see if we can deal with that statement. The book of Judges 14. We're gonna pick it up at verse number 16, my brothers. Let's see if we can deal with that statement. The book of Judges 14, verse 16, and it reads, And Samson's wife wept before him and said, Thou dost but hate me, and lovest me not. Thou hast put forth a riddle unto the children of my people, and hast not told it me. And he said unto her, Behold, I have not told it my father nor my mother, and shall I tell it you? Verse 17, he should have kept that train of thought, right? Verse 17, and she wept before him the 7 days while their feasts lasted. What feasts? Well, she was his wife. That feast. And it came to pass on the 7th day that he told her, because she lay sore upon him, and she told the riddle to the children of her people. Verse number 18, And the men of the city said unto him on the 7th day before the sun went down, What is sweeter than honey? And what is stronger than a lion? And he said unto them, If you had not plowed with my wife, my heifer, you had not found out my riddle. Verse number 19. Now, and the spirit of Yahweh came upon him. Now, let's see if the spirit of Yahweh, when it came upon him, did it perform some kind of deed, or did Samson had to take care of this business. Because, you know, when the angel came upon Mary, you swear up and down that she had nothing to do with the birth of Yahweh the Hamashahich being in her womb. Even though we read that she was conceived. Same thing he said to Abraham. Same thing he said to Manoah, the angel of Yahweh, right? Now Samson, the spirit that came on Samson, the righteous spirit. Let's see how he responded. And he went down to Ashkelon and slew 30 men of them, and took their spoil, and gave change of garments unto them which expounded the riddle. And his anger was kindled, and he went up to his father's house. So when the spirit of Yahweh came on Samson, it didn't do nothing. Samson had to perform this thing, my brothers. Just like when the spirit came upon Mary, she had to get busy with Joseph, my brothers, my sisters, my people. Let's see if we can pull out a second witness. That when the spirit come upon you, that don't mean that you don't have to carry out any action. In the book of Judges 3, verse number 1, let's get a second witness. My brothers, my sisters, Judges 3, verse number 1. Now these are the nations which Yahweh left to prove Israel by them, even as many of Israel as had not known all the wars of Canaan. Now we're going to drop down to verse number 4. Going to drop down to verse number 4. We're going to pick it up at verse number 4. And it reads, the book of Judges 3, verse 4. They were to prove Israel by them, to know whether they would hearken unto the commandments of Yahweh, which he had commanded their fathers by the hand of Moses. We're going to drop down to verse number 9. Let's see what happened. Now we found out that these are, let me see. Let me go back to verse number 1. Let's see who it is that's Yahweh left to prove Israel, right? Let me see if they gave us a name here. Yeah. Dealing with the Canaanites, right? In particular. Verse number 3. Let's see. What was the nations? Namely 5 powers, rulers of the Philistines, and all the Canaanites, and the Sidonians, Hittites, that dwelled in Mount Lebanon, from Mount Bel Hermon unto the entering in of Hamath. So these are all what we know today as African nations. They ain't always been, they ain't never been your buddy. They always been stabbing you in the back, my brothers, my sisters. Let's read verse number 4. And they were to prove Israel by them, to know whether they would hearken unto the commandments of Yahweh, which he commanded their fathers by the hand of Moses. We're going to drop down to verse number 9. Let's get the answer. Verse number 9. And it reads, and when the children of Israel cried unto Yahweh, Yahweh raised up a deliverer to the children of Israel, who delivered them, even Othniel, the son of Kenaz, Caleb's younger brother. So Yahweh didn't send thunder and lightning. He raised up a deliverer, whose name was Othniel, the son of Kenaz, Caleb's younger brother. Verse number 10. Let's see what happened. And the spirit of Yahweh came upon him. Hold on now. You mean the spirit of Yahweh came upon Othniel, the son of the brother of Caleb? Let's see what happened. And he judged Israel. You mean he had to do something? But Mary didn't. When the spirit came upon her, She didn't have to carry out the orders of the ministering spirits, which said that you would conceive in your womb. My brothers, my sisters, let's run to the book of 1 Samuel. Let's peep at this thing. 1 Samuel chapter 4. We're going to look at 1 through 7. 1 Samuel. We want to peep at chapter 4. Going to pick it up at verse number 1. Now, we got two witnesses. When the Spirit of Yahweh come upon you, that don't mean you ain't got to do nothing. My brothers, my sisters, when the Spirit of Yahweh came upon Mary and gave her the instructions, she had to perform that deal. Her and Joseph had to get busy. Just like Abraham and Sarah. Just like Manoah and his wife. The book of 1 Samuel 4, verse number 1. My brothers. 1 Samuel 4, verse 1. And the word of Samuel came to all Israel. Now Israel went out against the Philistines. Now these Africans are still chugging you. And pitched beside Ebenezer. See where they got that? My church name is Ebenezer, right? And the Philistines pitched in a peck, something like that. Verse number 2, and it reads, the book of 1 Samuel chapter 1, verse number 2, and it reads, and the Philistines put themselves in array against Israel. And when they joined battle, Israel was smitten before the Philistines. And they slew of the army in the field about 4,000 men. Verse number 3. So they killed, what was it? Let me go back there. Get that number one more time. We ain't in no hurry. Now we rolling now. 4,000 men, these Africans, killed of the nation of Israel. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. So these Africans was jugging you, my brothers, my sisters, my people. 1 Samuel 4, verse 3. And when the people were come into the camp, the elders of Israel said, wherefore have Yahweh smitten us today before the Philistines? Let us fetch the ark of the covenant of Yahweh out of Shiloh unto us, that when it comes among us, it may save us out of the hands of our enemies. Who are these Africans? They are our enemies, my brothers, my sisters, my people. Verse number 4. So the people sent to Shiloh, that they might bring from thence the ark of the covenant of Yahweh of hosts, which dwelt between the cherubims, and the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, were there with the ark of the covenant of Yahweh. Verse number 5. And when the ark of the covenant of Yahweh came into the camp, all Israel shouted with a great shout, so that the earth rained again. So these Israelites, they got happy when the presence of Yahweh was in the midst of them. Verse number 6. And when the Philistines heard the noise of the shout, they said, what meaneth the noise of this great shout in the camp of the Israelites? Polluted word Hebrew. And they understood that the ark of Yahweh was coming to the camp. Verse number 7, and it reads, the book of 1 Samuel 4, verse 7. And the Philistines were afraid, for they said, Yahweh is coming to the camp. And they said, woe unto us, for there has not been such a thing hithertofore. My brothers, my sisters, we're going to drop down to verse number 11 now and get the conclusion of the matter. The book of 1 Samuel 4, verse number 11. And the ark of Yahweh was taken, and the two sons of Eli, Penut and Phinehas were slain. Now, what am I missing? I'm missing my big, my punchline around. Let me get back to that 1 Samuel chapter 4. I gotta see what happened to my punchline. 1 Samuel chapter 4. And what we want to read it. What we want to pick this up at. Well, I don't know. And I miss my great. Let me see where's my I done missed something in here. Well, I don't see what I need, so I guess I'm gonna just continue for a spell. It was a statement here that I was trying to peep out about the spirit. Just like we just read in Judges 14 chapter and Judges chapter 3, right? It was a statement in 1 Samuel that somehow I done blew the mission here. Let me see if I can lay my eyes on it. If not, I'm going to have to dig back into this and pull it out. And we'll have it lined up for tomorrow if I don't see it tonight, my brothers, my sisters, my people. So I don't see it. So I'm gonna just have to bypass that. And I want to go back to that Luke chapter 1. I want to go back there to that verse 35 now. Luke chapter 1, verse 35. And the angel answered and said unto her, the righteous spirit shall come upon thee, and the power of the highest shall overshadow thee. Therefore also that righteous thing which shall be born of thee shall be called the Son of Yahweh. Now we went right to the book of Judges, chapter 6. Let me see if I can get me a few more good shots in here. And then we're going to get ready to close out. But we're going to pick this up on tomorrow in Shabbat class. We're going to pick this up. We're going to conclude this lesson. Now the birth of Yahweh the Hamashahich was on this wise, my brothers. We went right to the book of Judges, chapter 6. We're going to pick it up at verse number 1. Let's peep at this thing. Judges 6, verse number 1. And the children of Israel did evil in the sight of Yahweh, and Yahweh delivered them into the hand of the Midianites 7 years. So now these Midianites got you under their feet, Israel. Got us under their feet, right? Because of our wicked ways. Verse number 2. The hand of Midian prevailed against Israel, and because of the Midianites, the children of Israel made them the dens which are in the mountains, and caves, and strongholds. Verse number 3. And it reads, book of Judges, chapter 6, verse number 3. And so it was when Israel had sown that the Midianites came up, and the Amalekites. Now, you know who the Amalekites is by now. We're going to deal with these Amalekites when we get into the Feast of Purim, right? We're going to unclothe them, right? And the children of the east, even they came up against them. Verse number. So who are all there over there in the east now? The children of the east. You had Moab, you had Ammon, right? You had the Amorites, you had, who else was over there? Esau. Edom was over there in the east, on the east side of Jordan, my brothers. Judges 6, verse 4. They encamped against them and destroyed the increase of the earth. till thou come unto Gaza, and left no substance for Israel, neither sheep, nor ox, nor ass. So they attacked their food supply. Pay attention to that. They will attack your food supply, my brothers, my sisters. Let's drop down to verse number 6. Let's pick this up at Judges 6, verse number 6. And Israel was greatly impoverished because of the Midianites. And the children of Israel cried unto Yahweh. So let's see what happened when they cried to the Most High. Did he just send a phenomena and took care of these Midianites? Let's see. Judges 6, verse 12. And the angel of Yahweh appeared unto him and said unto him, now the angel that appeared up upon this guy here, let's see if we can get a name from him, of him. Yahweh is with thee, thou mighty man of valor. Verse number 13. And Gideon, so we got a name, that Gideon said unto him, O my Yahweh, if Yahweh be with us, why then is all this befalling us? And where be all his miracles, which our fathers told us of, saying, did not Yahweh bring us up out of Egypt? But now Yahweh hath forsaken us, and delivered us into the hands of the Midianites. Verse number 14. Yahweh looked upon him and said, Go in this thy might, and thou shalt save Israel from the hand of the Midianites. Have not I sent thee? So Yahweh has given Gideon some instruction by way of this minister spirit, this angel. Just like the angel came to Mary with some instructions, right? Judges 6, verse 14. And Yahweh looked upon him and said, Go in this thy might, and thou shalt save Israel from the hand of the Midianites. Have not I sent thee? Verse number 15. And he said unto him, O my Yahweh, wherewith shall I save Israel? Behold, my family is poor in Manasseh, and I am the least in my father's house. Verse number. So sometimes Yahweh ain't looking for the big man. He's looking for the least, right? That's what he looking for sometimes. Because you know when he went to Jesse's house, you know, Jesse paraded all his boys. Then Samuel say, hey, don't you got another boy around here somewhere? So Yahweh don't see like we see. The book of Judges 6, verse 15. And he said unto him, O my Yahweh, wherewith shall I save Israel? Behold, my family is poor in Manasseh, and I am the least in my father's house. Verse number 16. And Yahweh said unto him, Surely I will be with thee, and thou shalt smite the Midianites as one man. So Yahweh told Gideon, he said, I'm going to be there, but you got to put in the work. You don't think Mary and Joseph put in work? When the spirit of Yahweh came upon her, all of a sudden Joseph was the most finest things in her eyes. My brothers, my sisters, let's deal with this thing. The book of Judges 6, verse 17. And he said unto him, If now I have found grace in thy sight, then show me a sign that thou talkest. Show me a sign that thou talkest with me. We're going to drop down to verse 20. Verse number 20. And it reads, the book of Well, we'll pick it up at 19 since I hit 19. Let's go on, start there. Verse number 19. Judges 6, verse 19. And Gideon went in and made ready a kid and unleavened cakes of an ephah of flour. The flesh he put in a basket, and he put the broth in a pot, and brought it out unto him under the oak, and presented it. Verse number 20. And the angel of Yahweh said unto him, Take the flesh and the unleavened cakes, and lay them upon this rock, and pour out the broth. And he did so. So the angel came on Gideon. Did the angel do the work, or did Gideon? My brothers, my sisters. Verse 21, and it reads, verse number, what we want to jump to? Verse 21, yeah, we want to continue. Verse 21, then the angel of Yahweh put forth the end of the staff that was in his hand, and touched the flesh, the unleavened cakes. There rose up fire out of the rock, and consumed the flesh, the unleavened cakes. Then the angel of Yahweh departed out of his sight. So the angel brought the message to Gideon. Say, hey, Yahweh said you got might to take these Midianites down, right? The angel didn't do nothing. Gideon had to do it. When the angel came upon him. Verse 22. And when Gideon perceived that he was an angel of Yahweh, Gideon said, Arise, O Yahweh, for because I have seen an angel of Yahweh face to face. Verse number 23. And Yahweh said unto him, Peace be unto thee. Fear not, thou shalt not die. We're going to drop down to verse number 33. We won't get this in tonight. And then we're going to get ready to close this one out. But we're going to be back at it in Shabbat class tomorrow. We begin at about 2 p.m. and we usually run until when? Until we get it in, my brothers, my sisters, my people. The book of Judges, chapter 6, verse 33. Then all the Midianites, the Amalekites, and the children of the east were gathered together, and went over and pitched in the valley of Jezreel. Verse 34, and it reads, verse 34, but the Spirit of Yahweh came upon Gideon. Let's see. Did Gideon have to do something when the Spirit brought the instructions to him? And he blew a trumpet, and Abiezer was gathered after him. Verse 35, and he sent messengers throughout all Manasseh, who also was gathered after him. And he sent messengers unto Asher, Zebulun, and unto Naphtali. And they came up to meet them. Verse 36, and Gideon said unto Yahweh, if thou wilt save Israel by my hand. The Spirit of Yahweh came upon Gideon. But Gideon had to perform this act. My brothers, my sisters, as thou hast said, just like Mary, she has to do what the Most High commanded, instructed her to do. When that Spirit hit her, she saw Joseph was the most finest man in the land. Verse number 37, and it reads, behold, I will put a flax of wool. And now Gideon is putting Yahweh to the test, right? He said, look here. Behold, I will put a flax of wool in the floor. And if the dew be on the flax only, and if it be dry upon all the earth besides, then shall I know that thou wilt save Israel by my hand, as thou hast said. Now let's see if we can compare this to what Mary had to say in the book of Luke chapter 1. We're going to pick it up at about verse number 30. Luke chapter 1, verse 30. And it reads, and the angel said unto her, Fear not, Mary, for thou hast found favor with Yahweh. Verse number 31. And behold, thou shalt conceive in thy womb, and bring forth a son, and shall call his name Yahweh, the Hamashahich. Verse number 32. He shall be great, and shall be called the Son of the Highest, and Yahweh shall give unto him the throne of his father David. So how did he become son of David? Who was from the lineage and house of David? Let's see if we can get an answer. Who was of the house and lineage of David? Let's run to the book of Luke, chapter 2. We're going to hit it, keep it moving. Luke chapter 2. We're going to get right down to it, verse number 4. And it reads, Luke chapter 2, verse number 4. And it reads, And Joseph also went up from Galilee, out of the city of Nazareth, into Yagda, Judah, the city of David, unto the city of David, which is called Bethlehem, because he was of the house, family, and lineage of David. That's how David is the son. Because, he asked them old Pharisees and scribes, say, in spirit, David called him Yahweh. How then is he his son? This is how. Joseph was of the family and lineage of David. My brothers, my sisters, my people. Let's peep at this thing. We're going to go back to that Luke chapter 1, verse number 32. And it reads, He shall be great, and shall be called the Son of the Highest. And Yahweh shall give unto him the throne of his father David. How did he become son of David? Joseph was of the family and lineage of David. That's how you are. That's what you always teach that. Numbers 1:18, 17, and 18, right? That does not apply in this case, my brothers, my sisters. Luke chapter 1, verse 33. And he shall reign over the house of Jacob forever, and of his kingdom there shall be no end. Verse number 34. Then said Mary unto the angel, How shall this be, seeing I know not a man? Now he gonna tell you how it gonna go down. Just like he gave instructions to Abraham, he gave instructions to Manoah, he gave instructions to Mary. He also gave instructions to Joseph, my brothers, my sisters, my people. And the angel answered and said unto her, The righteous spirit shall come upon thee. Now let's see if she had to do anything. We're going to drop down to, let me see where we want to pick this up. We want to find out what move she made after hearing this amazing news. In verse number 36, let's see what the first thing she do. And behold, thy cousin Elizabeth, she hath also conceived a son in her old age. And this is the 6th month with her, who was called barren. So the angels letting her know ain't nothing impossible with Yahweh. Mary, look here. These are the instructions that were sent from the throne of Yahweh to you. Verse number 37. For with Yahweh nothing shall be impossible. Verse 38. And Mary said, Behold, thy handmaid of Yahweh, be it unto me according to your word. Not what you did, minister spirit, but the instructions you gave me. And the angel departed from her. So the angel got up on out of there, right? Verse 39. Now the first move Mary made, let's see what she do. Did she go and spread the news? Luke chapter 1, verse 39. And Mary arose in those days and went into the hill country with haste into a city of Judah. Verse number 40, and it reads, and entered into the house of Zechariah and saluted Elizabeth. So Mary got that news and she had to tell somebody what was going to befall her, right? Verse number 41, and it reads, the book of Luke chapter 1, verse 41. And it came to pass that when Elizabeth heard the salutation of Mary, when Mary told Elizabeth what the angel had told her, John the Baptist in her womb got happy. The babe leaped in her womb, and Elizabeth was filled with the righteous spirit. My brothers, my sisters, and she spake out with a loud voice and said, blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of your womb. Now let's peep at that statement. The fruit of her womb. Let's see how that's going to go down. We want to run to the book of 2 Samuel. Now let's get it in Psalms. Let's get it in Psalms. What about the fruit of her womb? Let's peep at it. The book of Psalms 132. And we want to peep right at one verse. Verse number 11. Psalms 132. And we want to look at verse number 11. My brothers, my sisters, my people. Let's pick it up at verse 11. Let's just get right down to it. What about the fruit of her womb? Psalms 132, verse 11. Yahweh has sworn in truth unto David. He will not turn from it. Of the fruit of your body will I sit upon your throne. So how did David carry this out? Let's go get the genealogy with the quickness, my brothers. Let's read the genealogy, how this thing went down. How did the Hamashahich, the one you call sweet baby Jesus, how did he become the offspring of David? Well, we read that Joseph was from the family and lineage of David. That's how, my brothers, my sisters, you are what your father is. Let's peep at this thing. We're going to get ready to close this one out, but I want to try to make this thing make sense. Now, where were we heading? We ran to Psalms. We found out of the fruit of David's body. Let's see if I can. Did I get that in or what? I don't see it. So let's try this thing again. Psalms 132. Did I? I don't even remember if I pulled that out or not. Guess not, because I don't see it. Psalms 132. And one people at verse number 11. Let's read this thing. Psalms 132, verse number 11. And it reads, Yahweh has sworn in truth unto David. He will not turn from it. Of the fruit of your body will I sit upon your throne. Now, that came back to me. We was headed to the genealogy. We want to see how this thing played out. Because he told David, he swore to David, of the fruit of your body, I'm going to sit on your throne. Let's peep at this genealogy of the Hamashahich, the one you call sweet baby Jesus. Matthew chapter 1, verse 1. The book of the generations of Yahweh. the Hamashahich, the son of David, the son of Abraham. Verse number 2, Abraham begat Isaac, and Isaac begat Jacob, and Jacob begat Judas and his brethren. Go drop down to verse number 8. We're going to pick it up at verse number 8. Let's see how this genealogy chart played out. Verse number 8. Let me see. Did I go too far? Let me go back. I think I want 8, but let me peep at. Yeah. Well, I need verse number 6 is what I really need. And Jesse begat David, the king. And David the king begat Solomon, of her that had been the wife of Uriah. Verse number 16. And it reads, verse 16, and Jacob begat Joseph, the husband of Mary, of whom was born Yahweh, the Hamashahich, the anointed one. My brothers, my sisters, I'm going to read verse 18. I know you said, you read verse 18. Now you say, you read verse 18. Verse number 18. Now the birth of Yahweh the Hamashahich was on this wise, when as his mother Mary was espoused to Joseph. Now she was promised to Joseph. Don't you know, brother, sisters, nobody could come up in between that. If they did, it was a death sentence on them. Before they came together. What do you mean by that? Before they came together. Let's get a quick answer to that. I know I'm going into overtime now, but nevertheless, we got to get it in. I wanted to get some of this in tonight with my, we want to run to the book of Genesis, chapter 2. And we want to peep at Genesis chapter 2. What do you mean before they came together? Let's see if we can get an answer. What was the instructions that Yahweh gave? The book of Genesis chapter 2. We want to pick it up at verse 21, and it reads, and Yahweh caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept. He took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh instead thereof. Verse 22, and the rib which Yahweh had taken from man made he a woman and brought her unto the man. Verse 23, and Adam said, this is now bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. What do he mean before they came together? They hadn't set up their house yet. My brothers, they wasn't up under one roof. They wasn't up under the headship of Joseph, my brothers. Mary was still in her father's house. That is the before they came together. My brothers, the instruction was that a man should leave his father and his mother. If he gonna leave his father and mother, what is the woman gonna do? Likewise, my brothers, my sisters. So before they came together, only implying before they set up shop. Now we're going to get ready to close this one out, but we're going to pick this up upon tomorrow. We're going to deal with this thing, my brothers, my sisters. But I want to go back at Matthew. You know, that's your strong suit, right? Matthew chapter 1, verse 18. Now the birth of Yahweh the Hamashahich. We just read that. Let's go back to verse 16 now. Did you forget what verse 16 say? Did you include this in your thought process? My brothers, my sisters, and Jacob begot Joseph, the husband of Mary, of whom was born Yahweh, the Hamashahich, who is called the Anointed One. Now we want to get two more on the table before I close out. I want to go to the book of Luke. Go back to that Luke chapter 2. See if I still got that on my docket. Luke chapter 2. And we want to look at verse number. Let me see where we want to. Let's just read a little bit of this. Let's pick it up at verse number 5. Well, let me read 4 again so we can get that in our psychic. And Joseph also went up from Galilee, out of the city of Nazareth, into the city of David, which is called Bethlehem, because he was of the family and lineage of David. So this is how David became forefather to Yahweh the Hamashahich. Verse number 5, and it reads, to be taxed with Mary, his espoused wife, being great with child. So Mary is not only espoused to Joseph, now she is his wife. Ain't that what the angel, the minister spirit, told Joseph? Be not afraid to take Mary, your wife. Why would the angel make that statement? Yahweh, Yahweh knew what Mary and Joseph, because he was the one that inspired them to get busy. My brothers, my sisters, my people. Verse number 6. And so it was that while they were there, the days were accomplished that she should be delivered. Verse number 7. And she brought forth her firstborn son, and wrapped him in swaddling clothes, laid him in a manger, because there was no room for them in the inn. Verse number 8. There were in the same country shepherds, abiding in the field, keeping watch over their flock by night. Verse number 9. And lo, the angel of Yahweh came upon them, and the glory of Yahweh shone round about them, and they were so afraid. Verse number 10. And the angel said unto them, fear not, for behold, I bring you good tidings of great joy, which shall be to all the people of Israel. Verse number 11. For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, which is Yahweh, the Hamashahich, the Anointed One. Verse number 12, and it reads, and this shall be a sign unto you. You shall find the babe wrapped in swaddling clothes, lying in a manger. This is what the instructions of the minister spirit gave to these shepherds, right? Verse number 13. And suddenly there was with the angel multitude of heavenly hosts praising Yahweh and saying, verse number 14, glory to Yahweh in the highest, and on earth peace, goodwill toward men. Verse 15, and it came to pass as the angels were gone away from them into the city, the shepherds said one to another, let us now go even unto Bethlehem and see this thing which is come to pass, which Yahweh had made known unto us. Verse 16. And they came with haste and found Mary and Joseph and the babe lying in a manger. This is what they saw with their own eyes. Let's drop down to verse 41. Let's get this story in. Verse 41. So they saw Mary and Joseph and the babe. Verse 41. who was married Joseph and the babe. Now his parents. Hold on. You mean to tell me his parents was not just married? But Joseph was, that's with an S. That means he had to have two, a father and a mother. My brothers, my sisters, we're going to get to the conclusion of this thing. We're going to drop down to verse number 48. What is the conclusion? Let Mary, now she would know, if anybody know who the boy's father was, Mary would know, wouldn't she? Luke 2, verse 48. And when they saw him, they were amazed. And his mother said unto him, Son, why hast thou thus dealt with us? Behold, your father. So what did Mary call Joseph? She said that Joseph was his daddy. My brothers, my sisters, that's what Mary said out of her mouth. Behold, your father and I have sought thee sorrowing. So Mary said Joseph was his daddy. What say you? What say you? Let's get one more and we're going to close this one out. We'll run to the book of the Wisdom of Solomon. Let's put the crown on the head with this wisest man that ever lived, right? He went to Yahweh and said, give me your wisdom that I may judge your people, right? And Yahweh said, because you asked this thing, not only am I going to give you this wisdom, but I'm going to give you these riches too. The book of, where we at? Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, verse number 1. Now, if you want to believe anything, believe what the wisest man that ever lived. Let's get that on the table before I do anything else. Let's go and see if we can grab that in the book of 1 Kings. What is it? Chapter 3, is it? Or chapter 6? 1 Kings, I'm going to try 6. Let me see. It's got to be around there somewhere. 1 Kings, see if I can pull this out. What did Yahweh give Solomon? 1 Kings, chapter, let me see where I want. This is chapter 6. Let me pull this out right quick, my brothers. 1 Kings, is it chapter 3 or is it 6? Which one is it? Let me see. Where Solomon? Chapter 3. Let's peep at chapter 3. I believe the storyline I'm looking for is in 1 Kings chapter 3. We're going to pick it up at verse number 6. Then we're going to go back and read what Solomon wrote in the Wisdom of Solomon. 1 Kings 3, verse number 6, and it reads, And Solomon said, Thou showed unto thy servant David, my father, great mercy, according as he walked before thee in truth, and in righteousness, and in uprightness of mind with thee. And thou hast kept for him this great kindness, that thou hast given him a son to sit on his throne, as it is this day. Verse 7. And now, O Yahweh, my Yahweh, thou hast made thy servant king instead of David my father, and I am but a little child. I know not how to go out or come in. Now, historical records say that Solomon was somewhere around 19, 20 years old when he took the throne from David, his father, right? Verse number 8. And thy servant is in the midst of thy people, which thou hast chosen, a great people that cannot be numbered nor counted for multitude. Verse number 9. Give therefore thy servant an understanding mind to judge thy people, that I may discern between good and bad. For who is able to judge this, thy so great people? Verse 10, and the speech pleased Yahweh, that Solomon had asked this thing. Verse number 11, Yahweh said unto him, because thou hast asked this thing, and hast not asked for thyself long life, neither hast thou hast asked riches for thyself, nor hast asked the life of thine enemies, but hast asked for thyself understanding to discern judgment. Verse number 12, behold, I have done according to thy words. Lo, I have given thee a wise and understanding mind, so that there was none like thee before thee, neither after thee shall any arise like unto you, Solomon. So Yahweh gave Solomon wisdom above every man that have walked the face of the earth. Other than Yahweh, the Hamashahich, right? He was given the whole loaf, according to Baruch, my brothers, my sisters. I think Baruch chapter 4, I believe, 3 or 4, 1. Yahweh gave him the whole loaf. He doesn't withhold but one thing from the Hamashahich, and that was when he going to return and take the kingdom, my brothers, my sisters, my people. So Yahweh gave Solomon wisdom that there was none like Solomon before or after. So we want to go read what Solomon had to say in the book of Wisdom of Solomon, the Apocrypha, chapter 7. And we're going to close out with this, verse 1. I myself also am a mortal man, like to all, and the offspring of him that was first made of the earth. Verse number 2. And in my mother's womb was fashioned to be flesh in the time of 10 months, being compacted in blood of the seed of man. Now we got to deal with that, right? I can't let that one slide on by. I got to get the seed of man on the table. I want to get that seed of man. Let's peep at that. We're going to make it quick. The Shemitic Hebrew word for seed is pronounced Zerah, Z-E-R-A, which also means offspring, descendant, or progeny, encompassing both literal plant seeds and lineage in humans, appearing frequently in the Bible for plants, people, and covenant promises. Key meaning and uses: agricultural, literal seed for plant and crops. Human figurative, descendants, offspring, or posterity. Yahweh's covenant with Abraham. Figurative can refer to semen or the origins of life. So this seed that Solomon say was the seed of man is the origin of life, my brothers, my sisters, my people. Let's go back to that Wisdom of Solomon now. I swear I'm going to conclude. But things get so good, you just don't want to let it loose. Wisdom of Solomon 7, verse 2. And in my mother's womb was fashioned to be flesh in the time of 10 months, being compacted in blood. Now, when you go try to find out what the DNA gonna say, who got to be tested? Who blood got to be tested to prove who the daddy is? You go get the man's DNA, is that right? Wisdom of Solomon 7, verse number 2. And in my mother's womb was confession to be flesh in the time of 10 months, being compacted in blood of the seed of man. Now this is a word called Zerah, Z-E-R-A, Shemitic Hebrew word, which means semen, my brothers, my sisters. And we can read in Romans chapter 1, verse 3, that David was made from the seed, that Yahweh the Hamashahich was made from the seed of David. And the Shemitic Hebrew word is Zerah, Z-E-R-A. That means semen, my brothers, my sisters, my people. Verse number 3. When I was born, I drew in the common air, and fell upon the earth, which is of all like nature. And the first voice which I uttered was crying, as all others do. This is from the wisest man that ever lived. He said, all was brought forth by the seed of man, my brothers, my sisters, my people. We found out that the way he came through David, Joseph was of the family and lineage of David. Wisdom of Solomon 7, verse 4. I was nursed in swaddling clothes, and that with cares. Verse number 5. Wisdom of Solomon 7, verse 5. For there is no king that had any other beginning of birth. This is from the wisest man that lived. The Most High gave him knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. My brothers, my sisters. Verse number 6. For all men have one interest into the light, and the light going out. So according to the wisest man that ever lived, there's one way in and one way out. My brothers, my sisters, my people, to the 12 tribes of Israel that scattered to the four corners of the globe, Yahweh be with you, and Yahweh bless you. Shalom, shalom, Shabbat, shalom.
It'll make you free. every one of the verses in Deuteronomy 28. I'm talking about the curses from verses 15 to 68. There are no other people on the planet that can relate or find themselves in such a deplorable state. If we in the city or the country, wherever we stay, in every negative category, the top of the chart is where we place. But all praises be to the Most High, destruction. Is to believe in our heart and confess with our mouth. But the money I got, ooh, is righteous, and we must be righteous too. We must keep the statute of the commandments, the thing that we agreed we would do. Hey, without what you did. But do you know, oh, amen. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Faith without works is dead. But do you know, oh, amen. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. By faith Enoch, when he was translated, that he should not see death, he walked with Yahweh the Most High. It's written in Genesis chapter 5. He didn't turn to the right, he didn't turn to the left. Straight at the gate that leadeth unto everlasting life. Broad is the way that leadeth unto destruction. By faith, when Abraham was called to go into a place, to get out of his country, from his father's house, from his kindreds, he obeyed, not even knowing where he was going. But he looked for a city whose foundation and builder was the mighty Yahweh.